Welcome, true believers, to Bad Wolf Comics. I'm your host, the Bad Wolf, and today we're doing our end-of-year holiday room tour. Welcome back, true believers. I am the Bad Wolf, and this is Bad Wolf Comics. I think we're going to start with some pictures of how the studio looked when I first started. Maybe a little bit of video from that time and see the evolution of Bad Wolf Comics into what it is today. So if this may turn out to be a little bit longer video, so I'm going to stop talking. We're going to get some footage out there and let you see how Bad Wolf Comics has progressed in just the last 6 months. Alright, we're going to start this video like we started the last one. This is the bookshelf just outside the studio. Let's get these over with for those of you that aren't interested, but these are my random books, my Highlander, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Supernatural. We get our gaming books, our Gears of War, Dead Space. This is my Lord of the Rings 50th anniversary and my Game of Thrones books. George, get to writing. We have 2 books to go. And I'm going to skip up here. And up at the top here is our Marcus Phoenix statue. My 10th Dr. Build-A-Bear goes with my 11th Dr. Build-A-Bear that my daughter got me for Father's Day. Don't judge me. I love my Build-A-Bears. We have our Snarf. Protects them all. A little bit of True Blood for anyone that's watched that show. My Ellie, Last of Us Part 2. Alright, and here's where the Doctor Who obsession started, folks. Well, I actually started in the 80s, but for the books, I grabbed all the books. This took me a couple years to collect all of them. There's a picture my daughter painted for me. Now this white set here and this set here were published by Amazon from, I guess, lesser known writers, and they're gone now, so you can't even get those anymore. My granddaughter keeps stealing my little stuffed doctors here. But yep, we got all the Doctor Who books. And yeah, I've read them all. Great stories. They're all like mini episodes that never got published. And here's our Firefly books. There's only about 1 more of those than wasn't here last year. And this shelf really hasn't changed in the last few years because the only books they've really released are of the current Doctor or the most recently regenerated Doctor, and I didn't like her. Just my personal opinion. I didn't care for her or the writing, and I didn't buy the books because of it. But here is our shelf just outside the studio. Let's move into the studio and see what you guys really came here to see. Let's open the door all the way here. It's my first canvas as we walk in. Probably one of the greatest canvases I've made so far. I love this image. And this is Bad Wolf Comics Studio. Here's where we'll start inside the studio. This is the computer I use to do all my video editing. I edit all of my Bad Wolf Comics videos here. This particular video that's being edited here is a special project for Omar. I was lucky enough to be invited to, so stick around for that, true believers. Keep an eye out on Omar's channel. He's got a project he's working on. And then here's, I don't know if you folks can see it, but this is my list of current pre-orders that I have pre-ordered for the year to help fill these bookshelves. That's our computer for that. Behind the monitor, we've got our PlayStation 5. We have the computer here. Now, this is a custom build because I don't like buying pre-builds because they rip you off on parts. Anyone that knows, just a little side note, this is EVGA's last great card for NVIDIA since they stopped making cards. EVGA is the best card creator in the world as far as I'm concerned. I was going to get a 4080 or even a 5000 series, but since EVGA pulled out of the game, I just wanted to get their last great card, so I upgraded from a 2080 to a 3090 Ti. For those that know. All right, we're going to get our canvases here. Anyone that knows me or has watched my channel for a while knows that Jim Lee's my favorite artist, so 90% of these are going to be Jim Lee prints. I had all of these made at Easy Canvas Prints. They're really good. All you got to do is just get a really nice image, a high quality image, and upload it to them, and they will go ahead and send you a canvas within 48 hours. Now, these 24 by 36 standard size ones are pretty reasonably priced, about $40 each. But these, which are special sized, I believe, I want to say 24 by 60, and those were almost $300 a piece. These two. But this was by far my favorite Jim Lee print of all time. So this is the first one I actually had done. And as soon as I did that one, I found this image, which is a Jim Lee homage. You can see right here. But it's also a mirror image of this. So whereas this is the Justice League fighting Darkseid, we have X-Men fighting Magneto, and it's the same picture, just different characters. So it really complements each other. And so after I did that one, I came back with this, and then I did a bunch of those. But then we got our Image comics. That's an anniversary image they released. I couldn't find as good an image of that as I could of the others, so that's why it's a little smaller, because any bigger and it started to pixelate and it looked bad, and I just didn't like it. So, and then here's some more Doctor Who that some friends of mine got me for my birthday or Christmas. One of those. It was nice of them. Now this, I actually did an overview for McFarlane's Spider-Man, and during that overview I mentioned that I wanted this as a canvas, and if I could find this, I would make it a canvas in a heartbeat. Within an hour of posting that video, Roy sent me a really nice image of it, and within 10 minutes of that, I sent him back an email confirmation of my order. So we got that taken care of right away. Here we have our customs on the top shelf. Some of these I've already done videos for, like Bishop. Now, I do have more customs coming in the works, so for probably this spring or summer at the latest, because they cost money and I gotta come up with the money. I've got a Marvel vs. DC omnibus coming, a Marvel DC crossovers book coming. I have a PlayStation omnibus coming that's going to collect things like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Legacy of Kain, Last of Us, things like that. And then I've got a new Fantastic Four omnibus coming that collects everything from the new Fantastic Four that was made up of Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider. Those are our customs. My good friend from across the pond that makes these customs, actually, he's just one guy, man, and he got overwhelmed with demand and had to take a break. We didn't know if he'd come back. He did come back, but in a limited capacity. He will only be doing omnibus for a specific clientele. I was lucky enough to be one of those folks. So unfortunately, when folks ask me how to get them or, where they can get them, I can't help you. He's no longer taking new clients, at least for the moment. But I will keep you all posted as if that changes. Here's the last few absolutes that are on display right now. Wildcats, Multiversity, and Absolute All-Star Batman. We got Once in the Future, Doctor Who 10th Doctor Year 1, Doctor Who 11th Doctor Year 1, and Something is Killing the Children. Alright, now we'll get to these books here. Now, as you guys know, one of the big reasons I do custom dust jackets is to get rid of this ugly white font that Marvel insists on doing. These books will the Acts of Vengeance, the Atlantis Attacks, the Evolutionary War, Area War, they will get custom dust jackets at some point. However, a lot of times when we just do the spines, I don't bother making a video because it's just a spine change. It's not a cover change, but we'll see what happens in the coming year. I'm really starting to focus on DC books as opposed to Marvel now because a lot of DC books just need the custom dust jacket treatment. All right, now here's a special sneak preview, folks. These are actually going to be the dust jackets that I show next week for our January custom dust jacket video. If you want to see what the covers look like, stay tuned, true believers. Stick around for next week. And these ones we already showed you in another video. Now the what ifs, they're going to have to be changed. Anything with a white spine, at some point I will change. You guys will see that. I just have to get through all this stuff. There's our aliens, 1, 2, and 3. 4 is coming. Let's move over. Some Avengers. I'm not a huge Avengers fan, but the Hickman Avengers were really hitting it for me. The Uncanny and the new Avengers with Brian Michael Bendis. I really wanted to get these read, and they just looked like a really good story. I also ordered the Busiek Perez Omnis, so we should have those for Avengers. But I'm not a huge Avengers fan, so that section's kind of small. And here we just have just a dust jacket. I actually used to have the Deadpool Cable Omnibus. My son-in-law really liked Deadpool, so I gave it to him last Christmas, but with the reprint, I've already got my custom dust jacket printed and ready to go when it gets here. Yes, the original labeling of that book was Cable and Deadpool, but because of the popularity of the Deadpool movies, they rebranded it Deadpool and Cable. So we had to fix that with the DJ. Plus, I didn't care for the cover, so we fixed that. Those are those Deadpool minibuses. And like the Avengers, I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan, but these looked really good. I've even got another omnibus coming that looked really good, so I'm really picky with the Doctor Strange and Fantastic Four. I'm just not a huge fan. And so far, the Guardians of the Galaxy, that Bendis is the only one I found that really looks like something I like. I do have a custom dust jacket I got from Roy for Howard the Duck to make that a black spine. I just haven't printed it and put it on there yet. It'll be another video. Here's some Hulk books. Now, I do have things like Planet Hulk and Peter David's Volume 5 and Maestro are all on pre-order, so we should have those next year. Spider-Mans. Now, these have already been featured in the video. I did redo these, some of the first custom jackets sets I did because I like logos over font. I do. Now, a lot of these books you will see in future videos. I haven't made videos yet, haven't finished them all yet, but we're working on getting everything taken care of. Roy can only do so much. He's just one guy. He makes amazing stuff and the demand for his work is high. Those are the Straczynski. See how much better it looks like with a black spine rather than the white? Just my opinion. Now this spectacular Spider-Man here, it was in the mail on its way here when Roy sent me a message and said, go pick out a cover, because he already knew. He saw the dust jacket, he saw the spine, he already knew I'd want a cover, so he had me pick out a cover, and I just haven't printed it up yet, so that'll be coming soon. I think in another video I'm going to do these random Spider-Man dust jackets. Moving over, here's our Star Wars. Thor's. I'm missing some Thor, I know. I'm working on it, folks, but once these books go out of print, they are spendy, and I refuse to spend more than $200 on a single book. Even that's pushing it for me. There's some Venom. There's our King in Black. We got Donny Cates' Venom coming. There's some Wolverine here. Wolverine Volume 3 is coming. Lots of great stuff coming this next year. Alright, X books start. Some more custom dust jackets for X Factor and for some X-Force books. The X-Force and Cable and X-Force and Deadpool books were rebranded to be X-Force Volume 2 and 3 as they should have been in the first place. Those will be coming this next year. Probably February or March, I will do the X-Force custom dust jackets. And here's our X-Men books. These came out really well, folks. These will also be coming in another dust jacket video later this year. Probably more around spring or summer. But I just can't handle the font that Marvel keeps doing to these, and so I had to fix them. More X-Books. Over here. Can you guys tell I'm an X-Men fan? Just a little bit. It's my favorite X-Men event of all time, Age of Apocalypse. We moved over to Onslaught. So glad we got that Avengers vs. X-Men omnibus. And here's where the trade paperbacks start. That's about where they quit doing omnibusing the X-Men, and we got trade paperbacks. I'm working on getting some customs made for these, but they're really expensive, and I also want to see what Marvel drops for the X-Men's anniversary before I start making more custom X-Men omnis. Bottom shelf. This is where the omnis stop and the OHCs start. I'm really hoping they start making omnibuses out of these, because the OHCs are great and all. It's better to have hardcover OHC than nothing at all, but I really prefer the omnibus format. We're starting to get some of these, like X of Swords is close. It's not quite an omnibus, but it's getting there. There's a lot of the newer stuff I haven't read yet. And last but not least, here's our Extreme, our Ultimate X-Men, and our Ultimates book. Moving on to DC. It's our Absolutes. I don't have very many. I just really got into Absolutes. And the reason the American Vampire looks odd is because we did a custom dust jacket for the first one, and I haven't gotten Roy hasn't been able to find the images for Volume 2 yet, but it is coming. They will match. Moving on. Now, my order of books looks a little funky, and people always ask me, what kind of order do you have? I prefer chronological. So you'll find that all of this is like pre-New 52. Move into Flash here. Green Arrow. That Gen 13 is really good. You guys should check it out. Now here's another set of custom dust jackets I'm in the works of having made. I want all 5 of these books to be custom dust jackets, but I want them to be a crossover cover. But to do a good crossover cover, each book has to retain its individuality as well as be a part of a whole. And Roy and I are working on it. It's coming. Now I am going to start moving away from Marvel books for custom dust jackets for a little bit, because things like this here, Sandman, these books didn't come with dust jackets, and they desperately need them. A lot of my third-party books also don't come with dust jackets, like the Turtles books, things like that. We need to fix that, because those books get shelfware, and we don't want that. And here's more Teen Titans, and here, at Flashpoint, is where we move into our New 52. This is such a great... I don't know why New 52 flopped. I really enjoyed it. Still got to get to these Justice Leagues and Justice League Dark. Been reading a lot of third party lately, which is why I haven't gotten to a lot of these. And then after New 52, we come into Rebirth. And I haven't read a lot of that yet. I'm still trying to get through all my New 52. But I can say a lot of the art looks really good, and Super Sons looks so good. I gotta say, Damian Wayne has become my favorite Robin of all time, and the Super Sons is just great. I just enjoy it. I really like that story. Here's our Injustice 1 and 2, and our Batman Arkham Saga. Folks, if you're sitting on the fence on Injustice because it's a video game book, don't. It's some of the best omnibus I've read from DC ever. I'm going to move over here. I'm really big on the Elseworld stories. So this is all of our Deceased, Dark Knights of Steel, DC versus Vampires, things like that. And oh man, I love these books. They were really good read. Highly recommend every one of these. And now that we got the Deceased Volume 5 coming out, I'm hoping that we can get an omnibus out of that, but we'll see. And for the last shelf, but certainly not least, this is all my third-party books. This is everything that's not Marvel or DC. I really tried to branch out, but as you can see, the shelf's getting a little full. So I'm going to have to maybe cull a few books to keep buying more for this shelf. These are alphabetical by publisher and then alphabetical from each publisher, except in some... It's hard to explain, but let's take a look through it. So we got our Plot Holes, which is a Kickstarter. Then we have the Aftershock books for Animosity. Batnum books made the Game of Thrones books. Those are so good, guys. I just started reading them. They're great. And we got our Boom Studios here, who did our Claus, How Santa Claus Began, and our Firefly books. Move on to Dynamite. They have The Boys, Alliances. And Meta Barons I haven't read yet. I actually got that off one of Omar's reviews. It looked kind of decent. I'll check it out. And here's all the Lock and Key books. And I mean all of them, folks. I actually got the omnibus here, the Key House Compendium. And then I saw the Lock and Key Master Editions, which are those 3 little hardcovers. And the presentation is just so much nicer in the Master Editions. So much nicer that I'm going to do an overview of these books next month in January. Keep an eye out, true believers, because we're going to do an overview of the Lock and Key series. Not just one book, we're going to do them all. And I'm going to show a comparison of the Compendium and the Master Editions, and then we're going to go into the Golden Age. So stick around, true believers. Lock and Key is coming at the end of January. Now, here's our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series with The Last Ronin. Now, like I said, none of these came with dust jackets. They're all really nicely bound. They're all really nice books, and I want to keep them that way so we don't get shelf wear. So I'm working on doing a full 16-book set because 15 is now pre-orderable, and I want The Last Ronin in there. So we're going to do a 16-book set. And right now it's in the design phase because I want to do something different. At first, I was just going to have them copy all the dust jackets for the hardcovers and just throw them on there. But I thought, man, that's kind of boring. If I'm going to do it and I'm going to spend the money on the ink and paper, let's do it right. So we're going to redesign the cover, and we'll get those out to you sometime next year, folks. So keep an eye out for that as well. There's Ascender. Descender 1 and 2 are actually going to be in next month's haul. They're already on their way here. And my favorite image book of all time, Invincible. Complete with the custom dust jackets that Roy made for me. This is the Bad Wolf Comics variant for those of you that have seen the video. If not, go check it out. All right, and here we have Middle West. I actually saw a review that Omnibuddy, Mitch from Omnibuddy, did that made me want that book. And JP at Organic Price Books likes to make videos to sell books, and he hooked me on Saga and the Oblivion Song, so we'll get to those. Here's my Spawn collection, folks. Now, I am missing the most expensive books out of this collection, 3, 7, and 8. Well, guess what just happened in this week's FOC? They reprinted all of these. So if you're interested in getting these, all of them have been reprinted and are up right now for pre-order at Organic Price Books. I even pre-ordered all of the deluxe editions of these, so I'm going to use these as reading copies and the other ones will stay sealed. And here's our Walking Dead. Sadly, when I bought these, I didn't know they were all black and white. I thought they were the colored ones, but no, you have to buy a different set for that. So at some point, I may sell this set and repurchase them as the colored set. Down to our last shelf here. This is where the bigger books are going. They just looked funky if I tried to put them alphabetically. So we got Crawl Space by Image, 7 to Eternity, Lady Death from Coffin Comics, some Stranger Things, The Witcher, and this is what's left of the Doctor Who stuff. Yes, I have a bit of a problem. And some Gears of War back there. This is the master bedroom of the house. This used to be my room, but the studio grew too big for that. So I moved my bed and everything out into another room of the house, into a smaller room. And this was just the studio for the longest time. However, recently, one of my daughters moved back in with my grandchildren, and I needed their extra room, so I moved out of that room, gave them the room, and I just bought a twin mattress, and I just sleep in the studio and throw that bed in the closet during the day. But this is Bad Wolf Comics Holiday 2022 Room Tour. Happy New Year from Bad Wolf Comics. Thanks for watching this video, and thanks for being a true believer in Bad Wolf Comics. Stick around, true believers. 2023 is just getting started. We've got a new year, new equipment. Only good things are coming. And that was our end-of-year holiday room tour for 2022. 2023 is upon us. We have a new year, new content, and new ideas. But stick around, true believers. Next week, our first video of 2023, we'll start off with a fresh set of dust jackets for the Infinity Gauntlet series. Roy knocked it out of the park as usual, and I even got a Bad Wolf Comics variant for the set. You're not going to want to miss this, folks. With that said, I am the Bad Wolf. This is Bad Wolf Comics. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.